Hey, this is Al McGee. I'm with yeticket.com. Hey, the film I'm going to talk about is called Where the Crawdads Sing. And this is directed by Olivia Newman. And this movie, well, it's based on the successful book by Delia Owens, and the screenplay is written by Lucy Alabart. And check this out. And this is also produced by Reese Witherspoon. She has her own production company called Hello Sunshine. And she also had this as a Book of a Month club in September 2018. And also, here's another surprise to make this film a success is that Taylor Swift. Oh, yeah, I'm a big fan of Taylor Swift. Well, she got an original song in the film. And, but is this film a success? Well, if you haven't read the book like I haven't read the book. When I watched the film, I didn't know what was going on until I saw the film. So I don't know what's missing from the book, what they eliminated or embellished from the book. So I'm just going to talk about the film. Here in the beginning of the film, you see they find a dead body, and it's of a very rich guy there. His name Chase Matthew, which is played by Dickinson. And he was found underneath a tower. But of course, the sheriff and everybody wants to blame Kaya Clark, or Catherine is her name. But you see in the film, she goes by Kaya. And also, Kaya is played by English actress Daisy Edgar-Jones in this film. So, well, we got a murder mystery here. But this film goes back and forth, back and forth. And remember, they found the body in 1969, but here it goes back to the late 50s, mid 50s, early 50s, 1950s. Here you see, you see the baby Kaya, and you see her mom. You see her mom, getting abused by her alcoholic father. But we see her mom leaves the family without any of the kids. Then later on, the other kids leave daddy and Kaya. Yes, they leave the baby with the abusive husband. First time I seen something like that. And then they never explained why they left the baby, at least in the movie. I didn't see it. And what I mean is, I didn't see an explanation where they said, hey, I'm leaving the baby. I'm going on my own. I'm sick of daddy and things like that. Now, as Kaya comes she's a little girl, 5, 6, 7 years old. Well, she comes up on this Black couple here. And they are played by Sterling Mason Jr. and Michael Hyatt. They're called Jumpin' and Mabel. They run a store there this is North Carolina in the 50s now. Well, this is one thing I didn't like about the film. It didn't talk about their condition of the oppression in that time period, the 50s and the 60s. So I guess they believe in critical race theory, the way they put it, or they didn't show what America is all about at that time. And it is American history. So they just show them as the couple running a store serving white people in North Carolina in the 1950s and 60s. But again, the story really wasn't about them anyway, or was, because they helped Kaya a great deal, but it was all about Kaya and this murder mystery. But they helped Kaya on her journey to be a young lady. Now, throughout this film, Kaya is describing and narrating this film. Now, Kaya, she couldn't read or write, but she can draw. She was drawing nature. She's in the marsh. And there in the marsh, she well, dealt with nature and she survived. And she had a house. She lived in a house and she had some land that her family owned. Well, you know, the other thing too, they didn't show toilets and things like that. How did she survive in there? She pumped her water. How did she truly survive? But yeah, they didn't go into that anyway. That's another thing about this film that I had a little downfall. It didn't show the whole reality because, you know, they made Kaya look like a clean young lady, you know, things like that, as you can see in the picture in the background. But anyway, but when she tried to go to school, when she was a young girl, 5, 6, 7 years old, of course, the classmates laughed at her and she felt ashamed and she never attempted to go to school again. But what happens is this, a young man, he comes by to help her to read and write. And they became great friends. And the young man who came to help her, his name was Tate Walker, which is played by Taylor John Swift. And he really taught her a lot. And she taught him a lot too about nature, about the surroundings, about the marsh, which he already knew himself because he knew how to fish, ride boats and things like that, steel boats there in the marsh. And they became very, very close friends too in this film. But again, the people there in that town, that area, they didn't like her because they felt she was an outsider. Again, they called her the marsh girl. And, you know, they really didn't know her. And when it came time for the murder to be solved, again, they said she did it because she was the outsider. Another good thing about this film, though, is that the cinematography of that area is very beautiful. It really is. I feel that the director did a great job with that. We want to focus on Kaya and what she's doing, what's happening in her life. But anyway, shows what happened to them, things like that, until she gets arrested. So she got a lawyer. Well, he chose her, named David, played by David Stratham. You know him from a lot of films. He's a very good actor, David is. And he plays her lawyer. And there was a lot of intense scenes in the courtroom, which I like that. I like courtroom dramas also. But this film, it's a melodrama. It seems to be made for TV movie. And I feel that because millions of people read the book, this is what they're dependent on, those people to come and watch the film anyway. They want them to support the film because they read the book. I didn't read the book. So I'm only going by what I saw in the film. And what I saw in this film, well, a melodrama. Too sweet. It's too pure. Really doesn't deal with the reality of the 50s and 60s there in North Carolina. Also, they really didn't capture the Southern dialect of the people in that area in North Carolina in the 50s and 60s. But they're making a film, and if you really want to hear someone from North Carolina with the Southern dialect, well, to me, it would have been authentic if they did that. But they didn't do that in this film. But that's what the film is not about. It's about Kaya, the marsh girl, as they call her. But I'm going to give this 2 palm trees out of 4. Just 2 out of 4. It's entertaining, but go see it for yourself. And because you read the book, and so you won't be disappointed. I'm only giving it 2 palm trees out of 4. I'm just making it this average film, C grade film. 2 palm trees. But go see it for yourself. Where the Crawdads Sing. Hey, I'm Al McGee with YETicket.com. Thanks for watching my review. I truly appreciate it. And subscribe to my YouTube channel.
This is your entertainment ticket. Latest and greatest.